Welcome, everybody. Glad you didn't get worried about the weather, the tornado, the thunderstorms, and all those good things. But you're here tonight to learn how to build an online business. And we have Jannie and Jannie all the way from South Africa tonight, by way of Canada, as they're traveling around on their way back home, back to South Africa eventually. But I'm going to just turn it right over to Jannie and let him begin. So,
thank you, Pastor Keith. Thank you, Pastor Chris, Marge, every one of you. It's a blessing to be back again. We didn't think we were going to be back so soon, but it's good to be here. Bless you guys. And it's really a privilege again for us to be here, and I trust that you will learn something tonight. I'm not going to be long. I'm going to be like 20 minutes or so, and then we'll allow some time for questions and answers afterwards. So, but let's keep it interactive as well. There's going to be some things that I'm going to ask you guys just to get a feel of what you want to know, where you are at, stuff like that. So let's try to keep it nice and lively. Okay? So build a business anywhere online. Judy and I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. Judy and I have been involved in the online space for probably about 7-8 years. And there's a lot of stuff that we've learned, and we had to fight through a lot of garbage and a lot of stuff that's not relevant, because there's a lot of stuff on the internet, as you know, that's junk. And so you get all these things that get pushed to you all the time. And I think that's why it sometimes makes it just easier if you have someone that you can just relate to, someone that you can trust, that you can work with. That's sort of what we found. So what we're going to share with you tonight is some of the things that we've learned, and some of the things that work. But in general tonight, I'm just going to give you sort of a broad overview and try to bring you to a point where we can just move on from here. So Thursday night, Lord willing, then we'll go into more detail. So tonight I'm not going to go into much detail specifically about some of the different methodology and stuff like that, but just to sort of build on the foundation that you guys already have, because you've got a solid foundation in this church. What Pastor Chris has been setting there. And so we're just going to build on that and just expand on that a little bit. So why are we here? First of all, what I shared with you the previous time when we were here, one of the things or the main thing that the Lord laid on my heart is to teach his people what their inheritance is and what his promises are. So we want leaders with a big vision that can run with a business vision. And what I've shared before as well, whether you're in business, whether you're in a pastor and full-time ministry, we're all in ministry. We cannot separate ministry from what we're doing during our day. We just cannot. And but specifically, we want to encourage leaders to rise up and to take the challenge, and let's just be blunt about it, to bring money into the kingdom. We need the money. We need the money to take the good news out. So that's what our main focus is, and that is what we're trying to instill and to build on that foundation. So, like I said, we want to enable you to just continue building on a foundation, on a solid foundation that you guys already have. What we start has to grow from one generation to the other. Quite a number of years ago, Judy said something to me that really got me thinking. She said, there's old money and there's new money. And I didn't really understand it, but over the time, I realized that there are families that their wealth has been transferred from generation to generation. Because at one time I couldn't understand, but how do these guys, how do they live? They live in our eyes, sometimes a very high life. They fly around with their own aircraft and all that. But it seems as if their money never diminishes. And then I started realizing that there's a foundation that's been laid, and that's being carried over to the next generation. And from there, it just grows. And it was interesting last night. Pastor Chris also mentioned something to me that was revealed to him over the last while. So many times, if we don't have that, we have to lay that foundation. So we're almost like a first generation. So to many of us, it's a first generation that we have to lay that foundation. And then, just like Proverbs 13:22, we have to leave that inheritance for our children's children. So that's what our aim is. So toward the end, I'll touch on a few other things regarding wealth preservation as well. Now, from the Bible, a few wealth examples. David, for example. All the gold that was used in the temple that Solomon built was from David. Solomon didn't contribute much. So all that gold was gathered and was preserved by David, and that went to the next generation, and God got the glory through that. Abraham's wealth, and like the word says in Genesis, he was a very wealthy man. He was very rich. That wealth was also transferred to the next generations. So it didn't just go down with him. The same with Job, where he started off with already being the wealthiest man in the East, toward the end of his life, where it says that God blessed him with twice as much as he had in the beginning. Where did that go to? Did it just go to the grave with him? No ways. That was transferred to his children, and possibly to his children's children as well. And then your wealth, my wealth. Sometimes as Christians, we've got a problem with gathering wealth. But I really believe that God is saying in Habakkuk 2 verse 8, he says, the gold is mine and the silver is mine. We are his sons, so we have part of that because we are heirs of God and we are joint heirs with Christ. So what he has is ours as well. That's our inheritance. So I'm not really going to talk about this tonight, but I'm just going to mention a little bit about precious metals. Judy, can I just have that, please? Thank you. Afterwards, I just want you guys to. This is a bar of pure silver, 99.9 silver, and I just brought this with, so that you guys who haven't touched anything like this, just to come and touch this. This is a point of contact, because this is God's money. I didn't bring any gold with me, but this is silver. So I just want you to come afterwards, just to come and touch it as a point of contact, as a transfer, as a receiving of, I believe, what God wants for all of us. And now I'm getting to you guys. Why are you here? You must either run with the vision, where what I described in the beginning, to go out, to take up the challenge. And it's not going to be for everyone. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. Everyone can have it, but not everybody is probably going to accept the challenge to go with that vision. Or if you don't see the vision yet, or you don't have a vision yet, then your challenge is to get a vision. Because if we don't have a vision, then we're not going anywhere. So you decide what the next step is. So what I share with you tonight is just an enticing thing and an impartation, so that you can decide what you guys want to do. What do you want? And someone once said, he put it this way, he said, what is this mountain you want? And to explain that, after the Israelites went into the promised land, Caleb came and he said, give me the hill country. I want the hill country. And he said, today at 80, I'm just as strong as I was when I was 40 years old. I want the hill country. So he didn't care about challenges. He said, I want those challenges. I want it. I want to get what God promised me and what I set out to have. So what is the mountain that you want? So we are looking for Caleb's. That is what we want. People who have a vision, and like I said just now, if you don't have a vision, your mission is to get a vision. You guys hear me? Okay. This is something that the Lord just laid on my heart some years ago. He said, true riches or true wealth is mainly an attitude of the heart which will determine whether you attain it or not. True riches or true wealth is mainly an attitude of the heart which will determine whether you attain it or not. We sometimes look at circumstances and we blame circumstances, we blame people for not getting what we supposed to get, what we think we should get. But it's an attitude that we have to have in our hearts. All right? And this is a definition that we heard a few months ago that someone said, what is a poor person? What is the poor is almost like an acronym. What is the definition of poor? Passing over opportunities repeatedly. There are opportunities coming our direction every single day. Sometimes these opportunities or these thoughts coming, you think, this mind of mine, where do I get these thoughts from? Our mind is supposed to be our biggest friend because God speaks to us. And when those thoughts come, those revelations, which we sometimes don't acknowledge is from Him, it might be $1 million, $10 million, $100 million idea. So don't discard and don't be negligent of those opportunities, those thoughts that come our way every day. What does REACH stand for? Reach or ready for increase. Sorry, there's a spelling error there. Ready for increase and change. That's just the opposite of what a poor person or poor thinking actually is. A poor person, we say it's a poor person, but it's actually just a thinking pattern that keeps people in that. So it's ready for increase and change. Blessed is the man who is confessing where he is going, not confessing where he is at now. Because we can look at the stuff where we are now, we can look at the past, and that can hinder us where we're heading to. So don't be disappointed about things of the past, because there aren't any. Everything has been washed by the blood. We don't have a past. We just have now, and we have a future. So decide what we want and just move on. Now I'm going to do a little survey with you guys. Who of you currently that are here tonight have businesses? Just by show of hands. Just want to get a bit of a feel. Okay. A few of us. All right. Thank you. Do you guys know or who of you do know what internet marketing is? Have an idea? Okay, see, more of us. I should actually ask you what you think it is. Okay, who of you that have businesses use social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn to grow your businesses? Okay, so 2. Okay, all right. Sorry, Emily. Thank you. Has anyone of you purchased or sold anything on the internet? Let's start with the selling first. Who've sold anything on the internet? Yeah, more of you. So that's more of what who said they've got a business, so that doesn't really make sense. Okay, who's purchased something on the internet? Most of us. All right? So actually all of us know what internet marketing is, what business on the internet is like, or what it is all about. And now I want to ask you a question, and just keep this question somewhere. Do you have a plan to generate recurring income, not only for now, but on a continual basis? And with that goes creating multiple streams of income, recurring income. It's and if I can explain that to you a little bit, if I've got a product, say I want to sell these reading glasses, I sell that to person A. Tomorrow I have to sell it to person B and C and whatever. So if I can create a means of generating income by selling something once and having recurring income on that on a continual basis, either on a monthly basis or less frequently. And where I learned this principle was years ago from a young man. He set up a business, an armed reaction business, and he wanted me to sign a debit order. Because in South Africa, you don't get insurance if you don't have armed response, if you're not signed up with an armed response company. So he came to our house and I said, I don't really want to sign a debit form. I prefer to pay the stuff every month. And he said to me, Jannie, it's fine, but if I make an exception for you, I have to do it for everybody. The man who taught me business said to me, any business that you do, try to generate recurring income. Get people to sign a debit order where money goes off their bank account automatically at the end of each month, and it comes into your bank account. So there are two things. The one, you don't have to go after people all the time, or very few people then, to go and collect your money. And number two, it's continuous income. You don't have to go back to those people all the time. You guys understand the principle? No, it's very simple, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Now, where do we get information today? We go and Google it. And I'm sure most of you do that. Who's never used Google before? See, none of us. Okay. So I just want to lay that picture. Now, this is information, how we accessed information in the past. So we went to Encyclopedia Britannica, and that's how we access information. Who still has a full set of Encyclopedia Britannica in there? Yeah, I see one person. Do you still use it?
Occasionally. I'm in school, so I look for old things.
Yeah, okay. Well, some of the information is still relevant, but those things are online as well. So we don't really look for that anymore. We just go on the internet, and that's where we get our information from. So, and now we're at the internet age, so even products, even hardware, previously we thought it's only digital products, which we'll just cover quickly. But today we can buy anything on the internet, whether it's digital products that you have to download, programs, ebooks, whatever, or you can buy stuff like lampshades. You order that from Amazon, it gets delivered at your house. I know here in the US it's been a little bit different. We haven't been so exposed to catalog ordering like you guys before, so you could do that as well. So it might not be as relevant, but I think it's still relevant. So on Amazon you can order a lampshade and they deliver it at your house. So you just order it online. But here's something interesting that happened a few years ago. You all know about Blockbusters. Almost on every street corner there was a Blockbusters. And most of them went out of business. Why? Because of Netflix. Because it's cheaper, and people didn't want the schlep of getting these DVDs all the time, to return them and all that. And the main thing is Blockbusters, up to that time, they didn't keep track with the changes in technology, in the change of the consumers, where they are moving towards. That's why Netflix caught on so quick and so massively. Now, Blockbusters has got similar services now, but if you go and look at their physical stores, there are only a few of them around. And so I just want to bring that concept to you as well. So we have to be able to see change and move with the change. Another good example is Kodak as well. They're out of business. Because they said when digital photography started coming in, they said, no one will ever go digital. The quality and whatever, they're gone. Because they were not willing to open their eyes, open their ears, and change. Now, this is the digital age. This you know. So you, if you want something, many times you get something for free just for people to get your email address. And this is, especially on Thursday night, we'll dig into that a little bit more. But people want your contact information so that they can market to you, so that they can contact you. And that's one of the things that I see with so many churches. I know we're not dealing specifically with that tonight, but I just feel I want to mention that because even if you know people with their churches, they don't have contact details of people that contact them. So how are you going to reach those people? That's a possible way of taking the gospel to people. Just sending people prayer requests or verse of the day or something like that to communicate with these people if they sign up for something like that. And for your business, it's incredibly important because you want the person's contact information so that you can send them information. And it's easy today, if you don't want anything or to be on their email list anymore, you just unsubscribe. So it's very easy. But there are guys out there, they've got email lists of 50,000 subscribers. And if you just think of that, and they just, when they market to those lists, and they just sell a small percentage of product to those people, it can mean a substantial income for them. Okay, so this is how it works. They usually say, you say, yes, I want it. So you click on the button, and oops. And there, within a few seconds, you've got the ebook. You can read it on your tablet, on your phone, on your computer, whatever. So that instant gratification. So that we have access to have income from that as well. Now, why this is important to you and to me? Because it's a growing industry. We just looked at it now. And just remember some of these things. To grow a contact list of 50,000 people, it doesn't always happen so quick. But there are ways that you can speed it up, but eventually that's where we want to get to. There's a great potential to build an automated system as well, online. So it's becoming easier and easier to build an online automated system, a funnel where you bring people in and your sales get done for you automatically. There's software packages, it's fairly inexpensive, and it's fairly easy to set up as well. It can also give you a possibility of freedom of lifestyle changes. Because you all know, you're tied to an office 9 to 5. It's not your business, you're working for someone else, and you don't have that flexibility. And sometimes you need to be with the children. You want to be with the children with their sports, events, whatever. And so you can make lifestyle changes if you are in control. This again touches on that message that Pastor Chris preached a few months ago on Ecclesiastes 10:11 about the kings that are walking and the Indians out there, they riding on the horses, on the ponies. And so we must get them off. We must get there. God says you are the head and you're not the tail. He says, you must be the lender and not the borrower. So we have to change that around. It's almost as if we don't have an option. It can, if you run an online business, it can give you location independence as well. So just as long as you have access to the internet, or one of your staff members have access to the internet, it can give you location independence. It can also give you freedom of time and movement, as we just discussed. Now, our target audience. Here I've just put all sort of computer screens. And I'm just, YouTube some time ago, it's probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, they made almost a change in their thinking. Before that, you had to specify, if you upload a video to YouTube, you had to specify whether you want to stream it on phones as well. Now, it doesn't matter to them anymore. You just upload it. To them, it's a monitor, whether it's a small monitor, 320 pixels wide, whether it's a big screen TV. To them, it doesn't matter anymore. So if you upload it HD in high definition, they cut it down and they stream it to the device that you connect to that video. They do it automatically. So that's a massive change in the market as well, and that's where everything is heading to. So they don't really care where people are accessing the information from anymore. They give it to you in the format that you want. The same with responsive websites. So what that means, that if you've got a big screen, it fills your whole screen with a web page. If you watch it on a phone, that same, it just brings everything down without making the text so small that you cannot read it. So it just responds to the screen size, and it just makes it easier to read. But anyway, that is, so we want to connect with people wherever they are and whatever medium they use to connect to us. Now, where do we find our audience? Now, this is a video clip. Let me just play. I cut it a little bit because there's a part that's not so cool. But anyway.
I don't watch that tonight.
We want to connect to people where they are accessible. And again, when I mention this, you will all know. Let me mention this statistic. They say, Google came with a statistic a number of years ago, and they said emails are opened approximately between 2 and 4%. So when people receive emails, between 2 and 4%, they open the messages. Otherwise, they scan the stuff and they delete it. Whereas push messages, it's similar to text messages, so it just pops on your screen. 97% read rate. Because when a text message comes in on your phone, you look. Am I right? So people have their cell phones in their hands all the time. Some of the younger guys, I mean, you can text them 3 o'clock in the morning, you get a response immediately. I don't know how they do it, but you just get it. So we want to reach people on those mediums as well, and that is all part of all this. So in summary, we're looking for leaders with a big vision. So if we have a vision, like Peter Daniel says, whether you have a vision, whether you have no vision, the price is the same. it's a lifetime. So rather have a big vision. So that's what we encourage, and that's what we want to instill in everybody. Multiple streams of income, the possibility that this technology and this way of changing focus, of changing our thoughts and using the technology that it can give us. And that's basically it. Thank you. Judy wants to add something.
I'll just add. It might be on. Okay. Internet technology started about 98, 99. It really didn't start to get developed until about 2000. And since we started in 2006, we have noticed a tremendous change in everything. It's really gotten easier, quicker, faster, and better for people. So it's estimated this trend is going to go on for the next 20 years. So it's a good time for everyone to really see where we're at and know that it's the right time. Because from where we started, there was no integration in anything. Nothing couldn't integrate. Now it's fully integratable. You find a lot of software. And just to let you know, it's not a scam and it's not a hoax working on the internet. It's totally legitimate business. Google, in fact, used to, and they still do, want people to participate in a business because what we do, they pick up on and market it for us. So we work hand in hand with Google. And that's really good to know because we're not doing anything illegal. And I'm not sure if it's Harvard or Yale, but it's one of those big universities who have online marketing course. So they actually use this course now in universities, and it's a big thing. It's a big thing. A few years ago, you would never think about marketing as a course online. And so there's a big trend going on here, and Jannie just mentioned, with this kind of business, you can do a lot of different types of business online, whether you want to be a writer or whether you want to be a seller or an author or a graphic designer. There's lots of opportunities available. I think we just got to learn to think out of the box and look for things we would like to do where the market is going, and we'll discuss all of that later. But there's lots of things. But the important thing to know here is that you really have to think outside the box, because it's going to be a challenge, because your time and everything is going to depend on your time. But you have to go outside and look for something that hasn't been done the same way and come up with things. But like, you have us to fall back on. We've got a lot of skills and a lot of experience, and we're available to show you guys the way. So it's going to be nice. All right, guys, that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you, Judy. And let me say this. Why I decided to do it this way, just to give you this tonight, is now you can go and you can decide, is there something that entices me? And then we can look deeper into it with our next meeting. And then we can delve deeper into it. And if you have any questions that you specifically want to ask, I'm going to open now, for questions and so on as well. But I really want you to go and think, do you think there's something in this for me? Can I really, even if I have a business with physical products, is there a way that I can use this technology? Because there certainly is. Because you can use the social media to promote your products. But go and think, what is my vision? Do I want to do this? Is there a possibility? So that's almost like your homework. So just go and think about that and ask the Lord's wisdom what He wants us, what He wants you to do, how He wants you to move forward on that. Okay, so if there's any questions and stuff, I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability, or I'll call on my wife. Yes.
I missed the beginning of the meeting. We couldn't get here any sooner. Do you have an actual product that you are marketing now? And then on top of that, are you looking for reps? I'm just guessing to help you out with marketing this product, or?
You know what, our focus is, let me just tell you, our focus is because you heard us speaking the previous time as well, I think, when we were here. Our vision is to enable the church to grow in business. And there are lots of means and stuff like that where we can do that. So our main focus is to impart in you ideas. We have products that we are specifically doing, and some of those products, or one of the products specifically, we will just touch on Thursday as well. So our idea is not necessarily just to get reps. No, that's not why we're here. We want to instill the whole system of using the new technology to be able to build a sustainable and a very powerful business with that as well.
I realize that your main thrust is that you want to educate us.
Yep.
With internet marketing.
Sorry.
Ask that question.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't think about that. They just want
I
you to.
realize, and I'm sorry I said it that way. I think I realized the thrust of why you were here is to educate us as to the possibilities with internet marketing, and to think out of the box, like you said earlier.
Yep.
So, okay.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm pursuing a business in counseling. So I'm actually thinking of looking at doing online counseling. Have you had any or heard any success with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to answer your question, but we're going to touch a little bit more on that on the next meeting as well. What people do in that type of industry, for example, that's where the memberships come in with recurring income, for example.
Okay, that was a
so
question.
you can either do coaching or training,
Right.
where you can sell a product once off. Okay, and a product meaning you can set up a video course or an audio course, or with digital books, for example, as well, that people can download. Or you can set up what they call a membership site. So where people can subscribe and the content gets delivered to them automatically. So the system, you set up the system and your content gets delivered to them automatically. And say, for example, in your, call it your agreement, where you set up your business, say once a month, you have a specific session or a specific lecture or whatever you want to call it, you produce that. And that gets delivered to all the people that are signed up on a monthly basis, for example, to your course.
Okay.
Okay, so in that way, you set up a recurring income then as well. So it's not one product, but it's sort of a product that evolves. And what you sort of do with that as well, the rest of your contacts, you send a portion of that as well, just to let them know what you are doing, so that they can see where you are moving to. Understand what I'm saying? So it's a similar, your lesson for the month. It's something similar, so they can see where you're moving to, and they can decide whether they want to sign up for that as well.
Okay. All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and do you, is there a success, because the picture that I had was also using Skype as well. You know, that way I could reach just not people in this area, but anywhere. And also you know, like I wouldn't have to pay rent for an office or anything like that. I could just be working from my home. Success in that?
Yep. Skype is almost old technology.
Yeah.
Many people are moving. Google has got a product as part of their suite. They call it Google Hangouts. and there you can connect with larger groups of people.
Oh, good.
So what you can do there, for example, and it's video as well. So all you really need is a laptop and an internet connection.
Okay.
You can have other equipment around that as well, but you don't really need to. And then before the session starts, so you send out a message to your people, and before the session starts, you just send the link to everyone, and they just log into that session, and then they have access then to you sort of speaking to them. You have access as well that they can, two-way communication, or you can just mute everyone out there, and it's just a one-way communication as well. Yeah, so it works very effectively. One of the companies that we're working with specifically, that's how they do their training. It's a digital product that they're marketing, and all their trainings once a week, every Tuesday, they do it online. So, yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Anyone else? Like you? No. Okay.
I just want to add another bit. Online business takes time. You don't make money in the first few weeks, the first few months. Sometimes it could be up to a year. So we always have to look at transitions to make sure we transition what we're doing now into the online. So we have developed, or we're working with a system that's like a transition product that can make you money quicker. But to develop your own personal products, it means you have to create your audience. And that audience all comes from social media. And that's the engagement you're going to do with people. So it's not all free, but it's a work that has to be done, and that's the foundation to building an online business. A lot of people doing online also buy advertising. So that's another way you build your audience. So it's a marketing strategy as well.
There was another
Questions?
question. Yeah, there was another question there.
A lot of training sessions and things like that you see online are free. So how is that generating an income? Like if you sign up for, it'll say, sign in tonight and see our seminar or something. It's a free seminar. So where is the money being generated from?
Have you ever watched any of those webinars? Yeah. Isn't there usually toward the end? So they show the people how they usually market it. They market it as a training session, and then toward the end, they tell the people what the product is, what the benefits are, so you can purchase the product. And that is where the sales are taking place. So although it's a free webinar, then they give you the opportunity there to purchase the product. And that's where your sales are being generated. And they say your webinars is one of your most effective ways of marketing, because it gives you traction in the market. It gives you sort of authority, accountability as well. People can see, especially if you show your face. Many people just do like a slideshow, PowerPoint presentation. But especially if they see your face as well, it's almost as if they build a relationship kind of with you. And that trust relationship online is very important, just like in any other business. You have to have rapport with people, and so that's why they use many times the free incentives for people to use.
Thank you.
But they also generate some income through advertisements as well on those? Yeah. Can you repeat the question? Don't they also generate some income through advertisements with those as well?
It depends. It depends on the business owner, on the methodology that he uses. Many people do use advertising on their blog sites or on their websites as well, where you can sell advertising. So yes, in certain instances or with certain people, certain businesses, yes, they generate income through that as well. So if someone clicks on that link, one of the ways that they can generate money is through, they call it affiliate marketing, which I will also go to more into detail in the next session. But you basically sell someone else's product. So if you don't have a product, you can sell someone else's product. So you advertise it on your website, and when they click on that link, there's a personalized link that's linked to you, and it takes you to that company's website, and you get the commissions or whatever from that sale. So yes, that definitely is a possibility as well.
Because we're in the information age, everyone here have a story to tell, and this is what's enticing, that if we make our story very viable, people will want to know about us. So for example, the builder, you're building decks and whatever, there are lots of people who like to do things themselves, but they need to know how, right? That's why the DIY stores are. So if you found a cool way to put up siding or whatever, and you put it out there on the internet, on a video or do DIY somewhere, people are going to start looking for it and they'll find it. And that's how you start to get yourself going. Because you've got some information other people need to know.
And you said previous years, like if we look in the auditorium, yeah, we've got cameras, but these cameras are higher end cameras. You can use your cell phone to record video. So it costs you, say maybe a few $100s, get a proper microphone because your audio is very, very important, and you make those videos like that. So it doesn't have to be high-end equipment that you're using to put out the stuff. So like Judy said to the lady there, that you have to create your products. But if you just have tips, for example, just as a marketing way of marketing yourself and your business, create a YouTube channel. It's very easy to do that. It doesn't cost you anything. And you upload these video clips, you upload them there on a regular basis. And you refer people there, and they find you there. I mean, YouTube is the second largest search engine on the web. I don't know whether you guys knew that. You can find anything there. If you want to know anything, go to YouTube. Just do a search there, and I can almost guarantee you're going to find something there where someone shows you how to do, even on your car, fix or change brakes or whatever. So it's very easy, relatively easy to enter this space, just to get your feel almost, into the market.
Just for some interest, there's some stats saying that people between the age of 45 and 75 are the biggest users of the internet, and they're all learning how to make money on the internet. So the reason is because at that age of retirement, people's income is quite low, so they're looking to see what they can do to sell. Or they're retrenched, and they're also looking for some opportunities via the internet. So
yeah, it's really amazing to see the trend in the market. I won't go really into figures and so on now, but the trend is really for older people. They get involved in the technology because it's becoming so easy to use the technology. What we've seen, for example, in the computer stores, the husband and the wife goes in and he buys a laptop and she buys a phone. And then the one I was curious, and I said, but why that combination? So I went up to the one couple and I asked them, and they said the husband, he likes more the hands-on. He's the big guy. He wants the heavy irons, and the lady wants the phone to connect with her grandchildren. And if someone who's retired, who's 65, 70 years old, can use that technology so easily and so efficiently, it must be simple to use. And that's what the companies have done. They've really brought the competence level almost down so that it's very easy and intuitive to use the technology. Let you just buy the mic, please.
I kind of have two questions. One, I started a couple years ago on trying to find something on the internet, and I've been given a lot of things thrown to me, like game playing and all this other stuff, and I don't know whether it's legitimate or whether it's not, and I don't know whether to, go into it because I'm not sure. And my second question is, I just have the Google Chrome, which will not let me do a lot of things. Would it be better if I got a different internet and try to do it that way?
Okay, your first question. Remember what I said in the beginning, we had to cut through a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because some of the guys, it seems so realistic, and I mean, it's almost that marketing push. So it's always just, good to just step back, especially if someone says to you, I've seen many things. Google is going to take this down in just a few days or in a few weeks. Stay away from that stuff. They just want to get your money. So there are reputable people on the internet, just like any other business. So I don't know whether there's really an easy way to establish that, but I think if someone has been involved in that space for a while, there are names that sort of that you see on a regular basis, and also go and do a little bit of a search, because some of the more established guys, the reputable people, they out there, and people will tell you that. As far as
I'm sorry, I have connected with the guy who is on Linked. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to him back and forth, and he wants to help me with a job, but we can't connect because of my Google Chrome won't let me connect with him.
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we can always ask that someone just look into that for you. It might just be an add-on into the browser that you need. I'm not sure. I don't know how he wants to connect with you. So it might be something like that.
Well, so he can show me how to do the business.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's using. So we have to get a little bit more detail on that.
Google Chrome is all in one, and it's pretty much a lot of things I can't even download on it.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to have to get a different computer.
Oh, okay. Things are pretty limited then. Oh, okay. So it's not just the browser; it's the the tablet. Okay. I don't know that technology.
Okay.
Really myself, so I can't really comment on that. Was there another question? I think I've covered the two. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? I don't really have.
Okay, I'll do it. I put the presentation together. On Thursday, we're going to go through different ways to make money on the internet. We're going to talk a little bit on paper ads, Google ads, on blogging, on affiliates, joint venture, network marketing. Those are just a few of different ways people can make, besides their own products, beside their own websites. Those are some of the things we're going to discuss more in details and the pros and cons for that. Okay? And then we would like to know if anybody's got a plan that we need to look at. And the next step is after we leave here on Friday morning, people can contact us. If they are really serious and they want to do something, we can work with you personally to help you start and get started right away, because we don't believe in procrastination. We rather, if it's in your mind, do it right away. So we can do Google Hangouts after this, so we can contact and speak to each other that way. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bless you guys.